And that's how we can start feeling a little bit more in control of our lives. So you know when we have something that's happening, or we can see something that is coming up in the future, or some deadline that we've got coming up, and we start worrying about it. And sometimes we can get stressed over it, which can sometimes lead into feeling anxiety. And this can show up for different people in different ways. So for me, I get a flush, like it's almost like a hot flush that rushes through my body. That is, for me, I now know that is my first sign. The other thing is like sweaty hands, heart palpitations, just sweats, hot and cold sweats, stomach ache, shakes. I've got actually on my website a list of actually what is loads of different symptoms. I could be on here all day. So I'll put a link to that in here. But what we want to do is we actually want to be able to control what that feels like, and control what's actually going on, because anxiety is actually our thought process running off in the future, making up stories. So it could be the fact of, for instance, I've got my mortgage to pay at the end of the month, and at the moment I don't have the money to do that. So it's like, I don't have the money, and then your stories just roll off, like I'm not good enough, oh my god, I can't get jobs, and all of these stories just can start unraveling, and it can make us even more anxious, so it can make our symptoms worse. Now what happens is when we're in a high state of anxiety, we're almost like in a state of panic, and it affects us. Again, it affects us, the way we think, the way we work, the way we interact with others. And I'm sure you've all been around that person that you can just feel that they're just not quite that they're quite panicky, that they're not quite settled. That's probably the better word, is that they're just not settled. And you can just take a notice of when you next come across someone that doesn't feel quite settled, whether you're actually drawn closer or pulled away. Because I know the majority of people that I talk to, and myself included, naturally will step away, because it's almost behavior breeds behavior. So how they're behaving will sort of flow onto me, and the last thing I want to be is unsettled and anxious. However, you know, there are ways that we can help and coach people that are in that situation, but that's for another video. But just going back to our basic automatic responses, is we're not drawn to people that are anxious. Okay, so it affects not just us, the way we feel, the way we're acting, but it also affects the people around us and our team. So how you can start looking at doing things about it. I've talked about diaphragmatic breathing, which can help with this, but also to come back to the present. Like I said, anxiety is all about thinking about the future and having those stories going off in our head, but none of it's actually happened, none of it. So why are we thinking negative thoughts? You know, why are we thinking, oh, I won't be able to pay it? And rather than, do you know what, I'm going to get the money, everything's going to be okay. And then we wouldn't have anxiety, right? So it's all negative stories, all doom and gloom stories. So one is about catching ourselves. So the first thing that we really need to do is catch our stories. And you will probably find that there are a few stories that keep repeating itself. So for instance, when I was going through my divorce, the story was that my life is doom and gloom, that he did this to me. And I used to name it my husband's story. Because what it actually does is it just takes the sting out. It actually stops that thought process of those stories. And then the next thing you can actually start doing now, look at what are the facts. Now, it's not opinions. It's almost, think about it of, if I was standing in a court of law, what facts could I put forward? So this strips back all your opinions, so all your thinking, and it brings you right back to the raw information that we can do, because everything else is just stuff we've just put on top. So look at the facts, okay? And now with these facts, it's like, okay, so what one thing can I take responsibility for right now that's going to move me closer to what I want? And I do the one thing right now, but I try and list at least 3, so I have choice. So choice always brings a sense of freedom, that we have a choice, we have a sense of freedom, because we don't have to do just one thing, right? So I always list around 3 and then pick that one thing that I can actually start doing right now. And that's going to start giving you momentum and feel that you have control back and you have that freedom as well. So give it a go, guys. So catch your story, write down what facts you have, and then list 3 things that you could do, three choices, 3 tasks, 3 things that you can create, whatever that is. List 3 options, and then choose, and then say to yourself, what one thing can I do right now that's going to move me closer to what I want? And do that. Literally just do it. Just don't think about it, just do it. And it will make you feel so much better. So give it a go, guys. Let me know how you go. If you've got any questions, as always, put them in the comments or send me an email or message. Always happy to help. Until the next video, have a great day.